Hare Krishna. I am happy to see you in our second class, Karma, Gunas, Rules and Regulative Principles. Our today's topics are Karma, types of gunas, types of mentality, regulative principles, and finally we will see how does it all benefit me. So first of all, what karma is. Some people will consider karma as something really bad. Some people will put some negative meaning in it and they will be scared, or I got some bad karma. The other people will think that it is nonsense and they will say there is no such thing as karma, just live and be happy and enjoy your life. While the other people consider karma as a yoga. So let us see what karma is. Karma is a universal cause and consequence relationship, law of relationship. And karma is simply an action. It is not negative or positive. We will discuss with you classification of karma and types of the cause and consequence relationship. So why do I need this knowledge? It will benefit me because I can figure out when and where I planted the seed. In the beginning it will be difficult because the intricacies of karma are very difficult and sometimes we do not know what particular prarabdha karma which is assigned for today's life, for this lifetime, when did we plant that seed. However, for the present actions we can learn to plant positive seeds, and in a few slides we will discuss also how to do not plant seeds at all. And we can see that the seed, all seeds which were planted, they are contained in the big bag of my total cosmic depth. And those sprouts and trees which we already see in this lifetime, those are already they are assigned to work out in this particular lifetime, and those from the seed, from my causal body, it comes to my sukshma body, from my karana body to sukshma body, from causal body to the subtle body. So when karma is about to sprout, it will appear in my mind, in my subtle existence, and whole universe will attract me to those situations what I have to work out. And finally, when I see already the fruits of this karma, it means that it appeared in my sukshma sharira, or gross body, or also we can say in material plane of my life. It means that that karma has already fructified. And if we carefully look at our life, we can find a few repeating situations which disturb me constantly. And thus, by figuring out the similarities in those situations, we can find out what is our cosmic depth, which is assigned for this lifetime. And we can stop to worry about this, but we can apply some knowledge and try to get rid of those situations or reduce the influence of those situations, and those work out this cosmic depth for this lifetime. So before we discuss the classification of karma, I would like to give you the concept of proper relationships within this material world and with Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many people in this material world, they consider themselves to be alone within this material world, and they think that they are controllers of their life, and they think they are the doers. And sometimes when they are overwhelmed by some problems and they don't know how to resolve them, they think that the universe is unfair, unjust, and they become depressed, and etc., etc. But this is not a full world model. It is a partial. At the top of this triangle, you can see here the self, the world, and Krishna. So at the top of this triangle, the triangle of Sambandha Jnana, the proper relationship, the knowledge of the proper relationships. So what is that? What is the law of those proper relationships? If I am acting in this material universe will send me the reactions accordingly, and I am connected to this material world by karma itself, by actions. But what I have to establish, the transcendental pure relationships with God. I am connected to God by service, and also He is connected to me by service, actually, because He is the best servant. We will discuss this Sambandha triangle in the third lecture, but today we will just briefly touch this topic. So, when I am thinking that I'm totally alone and in front of the material world, still the universe will help us to figure out what is our path. It will give us the same situations again and again, not because universe wants us to suffer, but it wants us to resolve those situations. However, when I am connected to Krishna by service, Krishna is the same as universe, just and fair, and he is a well-wisher and benefactor. But the personal aspect of Krishna gives us a huge support and his mercy, and by his mercy we can realize our tasks for this life quicker, and the process will go quicker. So as he is a well-wisher of everyone, for myself, for my neighbor, for my enemy, for everyone. By learning to interact with him, I can accept every reaction, even which I planted myself, even negative reaction, as a mercy. And I will be able to learn from this lesson, and with his mercy, I will be able to do it quicker. So, first of all, I have to set up this aim and learn how to interact with him and with the whole material world, by service and by dedicating the actions to him. I have to keep in mind that he is ever kind and just, well-wisher and benefactor. And how can I do it? There is a rule of 5 S. Let us see. First step is Shraddha, which is belief. I start with belief and the desire that I want to work out the karmic reactions, and I want to approach Krishna. The second step, what I do, I start this studying process, and it is called Svadhyaya, scriptural study scriptures. Of course, we all know the satsanga, the association, proper association, because we all need mercy. And it is very important to follow the sadhana. So, it comes one by one. First, we have some belief, and we start to immerse ourselves in study by association with devotee. And later we accept some sadhana. We start with something really small, and with the time we become fixed in it, and we increase our sadhana and improve. And a sadhana means applying the rules and regulations and some particular service. And the fifth S is to accept the position of servant or student. Because once again, everything is a mercy of Krishna, and it is our consciousness, our perception, which matters. So, next, what I would like to just briefly touch the topic about two philosophical points of view how people relate cause and consequence, cause and effect. Asatkaryavada is a particular philosophical point of view, let us say. They consider that cause and effect are separate. However, Satkaryavada consider that effect is a cause seen in a different state. In other words, cause is effect concealed and effect is cause revealed. These are two particular points of view for the cause and consequence issue. So we all know this phrase, as you sow shall you reap, from Bible. And in our material plan, we know the third law of Newton, law of motion. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That is what I wanted to discuss before we discuss the classification. So, the classification. There could be different types of classification of karma, and today we will see two types. One which is discussed in Bhagavad Gita, and one which is discussed in yoga tradition. So, first, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, that is actually chapter 4, shlokas 16 and 17. In 16 shloka he says, Kim karma kim akarmiti, kavayoh api atra mohita. That it is very difficult to understand the intricacies of karma, and even very learned people are bewildered by this. However, in the following shloka he says, karmanaha api bodhavyam, bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. Thus one should know what is vikarma, which is a forbidden work, and what is karma, which is work itself. In the previous shloka, which akarma. Akarma means inaction, or those relationship by which we do not receive any reactions. And that is vikarma, the forbidden actions, forbidden by Vedic injunctions. Karma is a simply cause and consequence issue, is a karma activity, and akarma is the action in pure consciousness by which we do not obtain any reactions because we dedicate those actions to Krishna. So this is a simple explanation given in Bhagavad Gita. And let us see the explanation in yoga tradition. So there are 4 types of karma. As we mentioned before, we have a sanchita karma. It is accumulated action. It is our total cosmic debt. And we may not work it all out in this lifetime. It is the bag of the seeds we have planted all over the previous lifetimes. Next is a prarabdha karma. Is a little bit more complicated. Let us see. It is a portion of sanchita karma, the cosmic debt, which is destined to influence human life in this particular incarnation. This is prarabdha. Arabdha, which is started, right? Prarabdha. And it is also mentioned three degrees of prarabdha karma. And this is also actually the topic where we can discuss what is the destiny which couldn't be changed, and what is not a destiny but I can change it by my desire or willpower. Let us see. So there are 3 different degrees of prarabdha karma: dridha, dridha, adridha, and adridha. Fixed, flexible, and unfixed. So dridha, the seeds which are certainly to fructify, and they are fixed, and this we can call fate. So whatever we can do, it should be worked out. There are maybe some certain very fixed, sometimes very heavy karmic reactions, They could be negative or positive, doesn't matter. They are fixed, they should be fruitified in this lifetime or the next lifetime, whenever time comes. Another type is dridha adridha. Is a flexible. Flexible, what does it mean? That I can fix it by my willpower, or at least by adjusting my present desires, my present reaction, my present actions. I can fix and I can help myself to soften the reactions, to do not have this dramatical effect in this on my life. And adridha, or unfixed, it could be altered easily, even sometimes unconsciously. Maybe I just do something good instead of bad, and some certain reactions will be worked out without even myself knowing about this. So this is prarabdha karma. The following two types of karma are simple. Agami karma is my future karma, which I create by my present actions, and my present actions itself are the kriyamana karma. Kriyamana karma are the actions which I do daily, and they can be either arabdha or anarabdha. What does it mean? They can give result immediately, or they can be stored and dormant for some time, stored in my sanchita karma, or they can be postponed. So this is kriyamana, my daily actions. So now let us discuss how to avoid creating new karma, the new cause and consequence, the new causes for the future consequences. And here we can discuss a particular shloka from Bhagavad Gita 2.47, when Krishna says that we have right to perform our prescribed duties, but we do not have right to be attached for the results, because Krishna is the only one who gives results, because it is his cosmic play, and he will take care about the results. And also, what the other advice of him in this shloka, ma karma phala hetuhu mate sango. So do not consider yourself to be the cause of your results and actions, and never be attached, and do not skip your duties. So let us figure out the steps, how we can study, how we can learn to avoid creating new karma. First of all, it is clear we have to perform our duties. However, it is very difficult to perform them without attachment to results. What does it mean? Does it mean that I perform my duties without any future without any future vision or consideration about the outcome or result? Of course not. Many of us work just because of money, or they start some business for certain result, or they start maybe they start going gym to improve their health, etc., etc. Yes, we have some certain vision of the future outcome, and we all do. But what Krishna suggests, that we shouldn't be attached to this particular result. However, it is good to have the vision of the outcome, because we have to figure out, is it this action is good? Shall I perform it, or I should not do it? So we must have the vision of what is good and what is bad, and what outcome could be, but we shouldn't be attached to this. We should dedicate action itself and reaction to Krishna only. So Perform duties, do not think of results. Also, Krishna suggests us, do not consider yourself cause and do not consider yourself being a doer. Do not consider yourself being a doer, he will suggest in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And how to do it? Abhyasa and Vairagya. It is chapter 6, as I think, 6.35, where Krishna suggests by constant practice. That's why the sadhana is important, because we cannot learn how to avoid those attachment to results and how to adjust our ways, how we used to think all our lives that I'm doer, I'm controller. So with the time, by constant practice, by constant fixed sadhana, we will be able to adjust our lifestyle and the style, the way we think. So abhyasa is important. And vairagya means detachment. Vairagya has nothing to do with, as some people think, to take sannyasa to be spiritual. No, it is not about this. Vairagya is means to perform the actions without attachment to results. So, by abhyasa and vairagya, Krishna suggests us, by constant sadhana, we will get used to the new lifestyle, new way of thinking, and we will develop with the time relationship with Krishna. And Krishna says, those who worship me, to those who worship me constantly, I reveal knowledge from within. Dadami buddhi yogam tam, yena mam upayanti te. By that knowledge, people, the living entity, will return to me. So those are the main steps, and of course, one of the first step, the step of the first important, dedicate everything to Krishna. Krishna says, Yat karoshi yad asnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasesi kaunte yat tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, please dedicate everything to me. So those are the steps how we can learn to avoid creating new karma. However, we shouldn't consider that if I try to avoid to create new karma, I will automatically get rid of prarabdha karma. No, I will leave as much karma as I need and work them out. But along with working out the prarabdha karma and the past reactions, I have to learn how to do not create new reactions. Here in this slide we can see few more examples from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, how by following your duties we do not obtain bad reactions. Krishna says, Svadharmena bhajet, one should follow, one should worship me by his own duty, by his own dharma, by his own nature. So that's why we have to figure out what is now our nature to apply our knowledge and our abilities, talents better for Krishna. About dharma, he speaks also in Bhagavad Gita. Shreya Swadharma Vigunah, we know this shloka, that it is better to worship him by his own duties, and this is one of the rules of karma yoga, because by dedicating him our own duties, our talents, we will not obtain bad reactions, negative reactions. So also Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we can find more and more examples about that we shouldn't consider ourselves the cause or the doer. It is elevated step of yoga. It is already not karma yoga, it is buddhi yoga and jnana yoga, but to realize that I am not the cause and that I am not the doer, I have to perform my sadhana in a fixed state every day with eagerness and with a total dedication, and thus I can realize how I am not a cause and the doer, for now, at our stage in the beginning, that we are just at the level maybe of karma yoga, or we are trying to do bhakti yoga, but still in our material mind we cannot realize it, how it is. What does it mean to do not be a cause, to do not be a doer? Because we are very attached to our material bodies, our material lives, our families, and we try to find those parallels about what is going on in my life and how I'm doing this and how I planted those seeds. So this is pretty elevated stage, but we all have to strive to that stage. With the time we will be able to achieve it by bhakti yoga. So here, one logical question one may ask: how should I behave if someone treats me wrongly? And we discussed this topic a lot in the previous lecture with attitude of gratitude and with forgiveness. We have done few techniques how to learn the attitude of gratitude and how to forgive. And here I just want to give an example of Dhruva Maharaja, that he was really offended by his stepmother, and he left for the to forest, and he was advised by his own mother that he should perform austerity and he should worship the Supreme God himself, and thus God will be able to fulfill his desires. But first of all, what mother advised his son Dhruva? She said to her son, "My dear son, don't ever wish to anyone anything inauspicious for others." In other words, means do not hurt anyone, because it will all return to you and you will suffer yourself for that pain. If you remember, we discussed the position of students. So whatever situation came in our life, it means that we have to learn something from that situation. Thus, we do not we must not hurt anyone in response. What we have to do, we have to take this situation and we have to try to follow Dhruva Maharaj. Of course, we are not able to do that penance what he has done, but we can immerse ourselves on the contemplation within our hearts on Krishna, and we will try to figure out what we have to learn from that situation. And with the time we will understand, because Krishna promised, with his mercy, he will reveal this knowledge. So this was a first subtopic. In our lecture, we discussed the types. Why do we need that knowledge? We discussed two types of understanding the cause and consequence issue. We discussed two classification of karma, which is given in Bhagavad Gita, karma, vikarma, karma, and which is given in yoga, sanchita karma, prarabdha, agami, and kriyamana. And we also discussed what actions we have to how we have to perform the actions in order to do not create any reactions. And we said that we have to dedicate everything to Krishna and to do not be attached to the results. And now we will discuss next topic, gunas. So what guna is? Guna is a quality of material nature. Let us see this shloka. As a fire is exhibited in different forms of wood, so under different conditions of the modes of material nature, the pure spirit soul manifests itself in different bodies. And also it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the same story of Dhruva Maharaj, in his prayers when he glorifies the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he says, You are all-pervading Vishnu, and your innumerable energies pervade all over material and spiritual world. And but the amount of fire and the brightness of fire depends on the firewood itself, and thus we can understand that the consciousness within different living entities or even inanimated objects depend on the guna which it is covered by. So consciousness is within ourselves, and it depends how it is covered by material nature, and the brightness of this consciousness of our pure souls will depend in which guna we live. So sometimes we can draw the example of a lamp, and if it is covered by blanket, the light of lamp will not go through the blanket. It means that when consciousness is covered by very heavy material qualities, we will discuss what are the heavy material qualities, the light of our soul will not be visible to others. And if this lamp is covered by a thin blanket, or like, some maybe some light fabric, the light of the consciousness or the light of our soul will be visible. However, if it is covered by a very fragile and light veil, many people will be able to perceive the light within us. And the same gunas cover people. So let us see one by one what are the gunas which cover us and what are the qualities of the gunas. So where does guna exist? It covers everything. It covers all parts of our lives. Our food, our relationships, our mental activities, the books we read, movies we watch, the places we go, the colleagues and the people with whom we associate, etc., etc. Everything is covered by gunas. However, we should mention that there is no guna which exists in a pure state. It is usually every time a mixed state of guna. However, we are able to improve the quality of our life. So let us see what is the sattva guna. What are the characteristics of sattva guna? It is a balance, harmony, goodness, purity, holistic, constructive, creative, positive attitude, serenity. It is a state of beingness and peaceful. All kinds of virtuous qualities will be developed if we are in the state of guna, sattva guna. This is a guna which is like a veil, covers the consciousness. So it is very subtle, and it gives us ability to be brightful and to perceive things not as they are. But sattva guna is the highest guna, and from that stage we can perceive even the higher state, the Shuddha Sattva, which is beyond the guna. So from this guna we can go forward. However, material world is mostly about Raja Guna and Tama Guna. Let's see the qualities of Raja Guna. So the qualities are passion, activities, a very active state of mind. It is self-centeredness, egoistic, individualizing, and it is dynamic. It is characterized by tension, and you can see that people are overwhelmed by greed. They love to work for themselves, and they do not consider the other people's success. They do not respect their desires. And it is characterized, you can see, by food which is fast or junk, or something very quickly done without proper consideration. Yes, this is an active state. And tamaguna. What are the characteristics of tamaguna? It is imbalance, disorder, chaos, impure, destructive delusion, dull or inactive, apathy, violence, all kind of vicious types of qualities will prevail if a person lives in tamaguna. And we can see that tamaguna affects all kinds of lives. Such people will eat tasteless or old food, stale food. They will use all kind of intoxication. They are depressed and they don't know how to find the exit from the overwhelming circumstances. They are in the negative attitude. They are eating the food which is a production of the killing. Their mind is messed up, and etc. etc. So once again, those gunas do not exist in a pure stage, and they are usually all mixed. And sometimes in a good mood we have sattva guna which is prevailed, and in some bad state of mind we have raja or tamaguna. So what it should be told particularly in this topic. So we are discussing here with you now types of karma, and what is destined for us to fructify in this particular life, what is our fate or destiny. And also we try to discuss how we can improve our lifestyle in order to do not create bad karmas for the future, vikarmas for the future. Or we also try to learn how to apply the willpower in order to reduce the total cosmic debt. So here what we are discussing with you, gunas, mentality and regulative principles, it is all parts of our life where we can apply our willpower, and thus even so we have to leave our prarabdha karma, which is dritha, which is fixed. Still, by our willpower, by the choice, by the correct choice, proper choice in our life, we can improve and purify the lifestyle. This depends on us, on our choice. That's why we discuss, along with karma, we discuss guna and mentality. Also about gunas, it is a lot said in Bhagavad Gita. We can find the chapter 14, 17, 18, and it is all about gunas. Chapter 14 is called Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, and here is discussed that everything is covered by guna. Like whenever a spiritual soul comes to the material universe, he becomes immediately covered with gunas. Those Krishna advised at the end of the chapter 14 to finally become guna atita, because in order to get out from material universe, we have to get rid of all guna, and this process starts step by step when we proceed from lower gunas to sattva guna, and from sattva guna we can proceed to shuddha sattva. Shuddha sattva is a pure stage without material gunas, and Krishna says it is possible. How it is possible? In shloka 14:26 he advises us that two steps. Mamcha yo abhyapicharena bhaktiyagena sevata, one who engages in full devotion service. So we have to serve, it is our sadhana, unfailing in all circumstances, and we have to be fixed. which is nishtha, right? Nishtha state of mind. We have to be very fixed in our sadhana and serve with love. And thus, with the time, we will be able to elevate ourselves to Sattva Guna, and from Sattva Guna to Shuddha Sattva. Also, you can find all kinds of description how gunas cover our life and what parts of our life gunas cover, and actually all parts. Krishna says that even faith, even worship, even sacrifice or austerity, and here in chapter 18 he says even knowledge, even buddhi, even sukham, which is happiness, everything is covered by gunas. And it is really amazing, because sometimes we think, oh, if I feel happiness, that means it's ananda and I am in bliss and nothing is there about guna, but not like that. Krishna says in chapter 18 that happiness is also different. Do not think that if you are happy right now, it is because of pure bliss of ananda from the spiritual world. No, he says that actually all those kinds of happiness which people experience in material world, they are derived from sense enjoyment, and thus it is covered by Raja Guna. To achieve the happiness which is much higher, we have to put a lot of efforts and willpower, because it comes from the self-realization, and it is first like a poison, but it will become nectar later on. So you can read chapter 14 about gunas, chapter 17, chapter 18, and once again, guna is what should be and must be adjusted in our life, and thus we will be able to work out karma. So, next topic, types of mentalities. I give this example here because it is a scientific thing. Psychologists created this, found out these two types of mentality. So it is pretty scientific, but it has a lot to do with the gunas itself. Because psychologists divide types of mentality into two. The mentality of abundance, which is generosity or being open and full, and mentality of scarcity. And here you can read the qualities of those mentalities. What I would like to tell in this video is that mentality of scarcity is usually what we call in Sanskrit sakama, selfishness. Selfishness, yes. Sa means with, kama is a desire for self, usually material desire, egotistic desire. So, mentality of scarcity or deficiency, it is when we are convinced that we are separated from Krishna. We think that we exist in our own selves and no one can help us, and thus we try to do our best to get all pleasures from this world, and we do not want to share those pleasures. And so we are limited, because by working on our own selves, we use only those resources that are pledged in us, and they definitely are insufficient. Actually, the qualities of this mentality, even so people strive to get more and more, with the time they will not be able to dig deeper, and they will be at the bottom of their opportunities or possibilities. So the qualities of this mentality are moroseness, aloofness, distrust. We are inclined to take from others, but do not give. We think that the more we accumulate, the richer we are. Indeed, it is a mentality of greed, which is lobha. And we know from Bhagavad Gita that kama, krodha and lobha are three gates to hell. Trividham narakasidam, Krishna says, kama, krodha, lobha. The kama, which is material desire, krodha, anger, and lobha, greed. So this is a mentality of scarcity. In opposite, mentality of abundance is nishkama. Nishkama is without material desire or selfless. What does it mean? We are full of love and bliss. Our heart is open, and it is open to all the opportunities. We develop relationship with within ourselves, with the world, with Krishna, with the whole universe, with society, and we once again we are full of love, and the universe gives us even more, because Krishna says that those who worship me, yogakshemam vaham yaham, so I give them what they lack and I preserve what they have. Actually, the more we give, the more we receive, and this is a mentality of abundance. And we can make a parallel to the gunas. That mentality of abundance is definitely a sattva guna, and mentality of deficiency or scarcity is a mode of ignorance or rajas. Also, in Bhagavad Gita, it is said about sakama karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga, but here I didn't put yoga in these particular slides, but let us see. The mentality itself or guna itself is not yet a yoga, because it will become yoga when we will dedicate everything to Krishna. So once again, let us see. Bhagavad Gita describes that we can start with our material desires. If we have material desires, we can start with it. The story of Dhruva Maharaja itself shows us an example that he started with a very strong material desire, that he was offended by his stepmother, and he wanted to achieve more, to show them that he is worthy of love. So we can start our path of bhakti from the sakama karma yoga, and but we shouldn't be fixed on this step very long. We have to learn this mentality of abundance, dedicating it to Krishna, so it will become nishkama karma yoga, and thus we will develop the bhakti yoga path. And Krishna actually says that those who act in expectation of results is indeed kripana, a miser. So once again, here you can see the summary of 2 types of mentality and 3 modes of material nature. And remember once again that it is where you can put your willpower, apply your willpower, and improve your lifestyle. And by improving your kriyamana karma, the karma which you create by present activities, you can improve your agami karma. And thus you can reduce the sanchita karma, the total cosmic debts. And you can adjust your fate. And one more topic to discuss where we can apply our willpower, it is definitely regulative principles. It is what we can adjust in our life, where we can improve our lifestyles. So let us see few regulative principles, few classifications of regulative principles. We all know 4 regulative principles, which are not eating meat, not gambling, not using intoxication, and do not be indulged in illicit sex. And this is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. We will discuss more 4 regulative principles in the topic of discipline. But today, because we spoke a lot about yoga, I would like to discuss yama niyama principles of yoga, because this is also what we can improve in our lives and what we have to work on it So let us discuss one by one. Those are yamas, which are restrictions, and niyamas, the spiritual principles. There are 4 restrictions and 4 spiritual, or 5. 5 yamas, 5 niyamas. And we start with ahimsa, is a universal principle of non-violence. As mother of Dhruva Maharaja told him to do not hurt anyone. Do not ever hurt anyone by your word, by your thought, by your speech, by your action. Including to be vegetarian, or including to do not hurt even inanimate objects, to treat them with respect. Satya, truthfulness, is a very important. Being truthful means to give more power to your speech ability, to your thoughts, because with the time, if you will be truthful, your words will weigh more, and the words what you will say will have power. Third is asteya, non-stealing. I think it is very clear. Non-stealing is a universal principle of the restrictions. Brahmacharya is very interesting principle because in nowadays it is difficult to keep. However, one should control his lust and preserve the chastity before marriage. Why so? Brahmacharya gives a lot of mind power. It improves your memory. It gives again the power to your speech, to your action, to your activities. And because Brahmacharya has something to do with the Shakti, with energy of, we can call it Kundalini energy or Prana, or some other maybe names of this energy. And it is also said that by pulling up the energy, the prana, we will give more power to our mentality, to our consciousness. And this principle is very important for those who wants to lead the spiritual lifestyle. However, to be grihastha or family, to lead a family life, is also within these rules, because it is family life is a prescribed duty, and there are it is possible to have children and be married. So according to social rules we can do it. So next and the last yama principle is aparigraha, which is translated as not be bound by accumulation of material things. It is also translated as non-acceptance of gifts. However, it is difficult, especially if we have friends and family members. It is good to accept gift and give a gift. But it is important to do not accumulate material things and to do not be attached by them. And 5 niyama principles. First of all, it is shaucham, is a purity. And purity has to deal with 3 levels: purity of body, purity of speech, and purity of thoughts. And we know that negative emotions poison us, and so those we have to be very careful about what thoughts we produce and contemplate on, because they will lead us to type of speech we use to interact with the others. And from the mind, from the sukshma body, subtle body, the material objects will appear in a gross reality. Second niyama is to be santushtaha, or satisfied by whatever we have, being optimistic and being content. This is important, a quality of brahmanas, being content with whatever you have. Tapa. We know Krishna says that tapa, yajna, svadhyaya, and dana are very important and should not be ever abandoned. So tapa is a self-discipline. And of course we know that without tapa, nothing could exist in this world. To make some our desires true, to achieve some spiritual realizations, we have to apply self-discipline. Svadhyaya, we said in the beginning that it is one of the first important steps to ever get into the path of bhakti, into the path of receiving knowledge. So Svadhyaya is scriptural studies. And Ishvara Pranidhana, it is adoption of Ishvara, Lord, as the supreme goal of our lives. So those are yama niyama. And once again, to adjust our future karma and get rid and reduce the cosmic debt, we can apply our willpower to improve our gunas, to improve the style of mentalities, and to follow the principles of life, such as yama niyama or 4 principles. This is what depend on our decision and where we can apply the will to adjust the future life. And finally, I would like to discuss how does it all benefit us. Some people will say, okay, I don't want even lead a very spiritual life. Why should I follow all these strange rules? So here we will discuss how each of these 3 topics we discussed, which we can improve by our willpower, how they can improve the life itself. And we will discuss it from 2 points of view, from social point of view and from spiritual point of view. So, how Sattva Guna can help me in a social life? It will benefit me with higher achievement. By developing higher qualities, I will ingratiate the universe to treat me nicely. You remember the law, the 3rd law of motion of Newton? Whatever you give to the universe, you will receive accordingly. So, the more we give, the better things we give, the better things we receive. And for spiritual purpose, we said before that Sattva Guna is a trampoline for to proceed to Shuddha Sattva, pure consciousness, and to become Guna Atita. And itself, it means that we can go away from material existence. So, mentality. How does mentality of abundance benefit me? For social purpose, the law of energy conservation here works very well. Again, what I give away, that only will return to me. So we told that being greedy actually and being selfish, people choose this lifestyle because they want to accumulate more pleasures for themselves. However, such lifestyle is limited because we are boiling in our own pots of our minds. But what does the mentality of abundance give us? It actually opens the lid of that pot, and we can achieve more. The more we give, the more we receive. And it is good to mention here that actually everything in this material world, nothing in this material world belongs to us. If we will accept this point of view that we came into this material world and we are using Krishna's material elements for Krishna's satisfaction, we will have as many elements as needed for his satisfaction. And because when I think that I'm a doer, I'm controller, and I try to accumulate, I'm limited to some karmic, as we say, pot. But when I'm using those elements in abundance and in generosity, Krishna will provide even more. then he will open the limits. He will break the limits, and I will have even more ananda, more happiness. And finally, regulative principles. Once again, it is very difficult to follow all of them at once, to follow 4 principles and to follow 10 yama and niyama principles. However, we may pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 in the beginning and try to follow one by one and try to do it constantly. So how do they benefit me? For social purpose, following yama niyama will eliminate heavy karmic reactions and sins, and thus it will give you more opportunities to achieve the desires. It is, I think it is clear, because by following the injunctions, we will get rid of this weight of karma. We will be more light and bright. And for spiritual purpose, only upon purifying our mental existence, behavioral attitude, and subtle body, we can proceed to the following steps like asanas, pranayamas, and thus advance on the spiritual path. And also mantra, which we pronounce, will have power only if our mind and senses are under control. So, here it is the ways how it all benefit me. And finally, I would like to conclude with a simple technique. First of all, I would like to give this conclusion that the universe loves me unconditionally, and God loves me unconditionally, and He loves everyone unconditionally, and He is ever fair and just. And everything what He does for me, it is for my own benefit, and I shall accept everything as His mercy and shall learn my lessons. Thus, I would like to give a technique from some wonderful psychology books. How can I become a student of my life? How can I learn my karmic lessons? So let us take our notepads. It will take 10 minutes maybe, and we will try to figure out what are those situations in my life, what are those karmic depths in my life which I have to work out, and we will try to figure out the way how can I start to work them out. So first, write down please the event or 2-3 events which you see in your life, they are repeating events and which disturb you. Next point, write down that you remember from the previous lecture, the attitude of gratitude and forgiveness. You remember this rule of 3R of gratitude log. R, first R means recognize. It is write down the situation and try to figure out what is good there in it. Second R is to remember. Remember all the people who were involved and what they have done good for you. And reciprocate. When you will write first and second R round, you write how can you respond to this situation in a grateful attitude. And also forgiveness, you can go to the previous lectures. We have done, we described few techniques of and few principles of forgiveness. And Gaur Gopal Prabhu advised us to do that technique sometimes. So this is a time when it is useful for us to do. You can take those both techniques for gratitude and forgiveness from the previous lecture. So write down, please, in the second point, that you accept the situation with gratitude and forgiveness. Write down the what you are grateful for and how you can forgive. You take responsibility on this point, on this for this situation, and you turn to the attitude of disciple or student. And please realize on this level that you will not complain about this situation anymore. You accept your responsibility and you're ready to correct it. The two next points are to realize the negative lesson from the situation and positive lesson from the situation. So what have you learned? Something from this situation, what you want to adjust, correct, what you don't want to repeat, what quality would like you to improve, what quality would you like to get rid from. So point number 5, thank the situation in person. Okay, this is same gratitude log, right? The more we are grateful, the more we open up for the mentality of abundance, and the more power we receive to resolve this situation from Krishna. We receive the power from Krishna. Next point, you have to review the behavior, your behavior in this particular situation, and choose that behavior and that quality what you want to adjust, and write a new quality or new type of behavior to substitute the previous negative one. And that's all. Now is a stage of reciprocation or abhyasa. You have to whenever this situation will come again, you have to try over and over again to apply new behavior, to apply new attitude, new way of thinking, and just be patient. And time will pass and it will come automatically. But at the beginning, you have to learn how to apply your willpower to improve that situation. And with the time, how you can find out that you worked out that karma. First, Krishna will check you again and again, control how you treat yourself. And the clue you can find out if you reduce this karma, you will find that it is very easy to apply your new behavior, your grateful behavior for this situation. You are not anymore irritated or get angry for this situation. It is the first clue. And next clue, with the time, when still universe and Krishna, they will send you this situation again and again, and when they will be sure that you are done with this, the situation itself will disappear. But don't be afraid, new situation will appear and you will have to work out more karmic bondage. So that's it. We discussed today with you the cause and consequence issue, the types of karma, classifications of karma. We discussed that karma could be worked out and we all have to strive to do it. And how we can do it? We have to apply our willpower to increase our guna, purify our lifestyle by following regulative principles, and to shift from the mentality of deficiency to mentality of abundance. And we saw this wonderful technique, how to do it step by step and apply it. And also please go to previous lecture and write down those two gratitude and forgiveness technique and try to apply them sometimes or daily, because it will benefit us anyway. So thank you everyone. Please chant Hare Krishna and be happy.